Yes, guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson Football Channel. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're all going to have a wonderful weekend. I am so excited. I'm going up to London today. I've got a tennis afternoon with a few beers with some mates. And then tomorrow, I'm going to Chelsea Palace. I cannot wait. Your match preview will be the next video that you guys see here on GBFC. So enjoy the morning news. Get yourself a little cup of coffee in hand, sit back and relax. And if you are going to be buying anything from the Chelsea Online Megastore this summer, make sure you use the discount code GBFC10 for 10% off your order. There's a QR code on the screen, and in every single video, I leave a link in the description. GBFC10 is your discount code, and I think the third kit is coming out soon. I know a lot of people are wanting to cop that one, but let's go and discuss now the latest Chelsea updates. There's a lot of big stuff to go through here. Manchester City and Bournemouth, who had a recent loan inquiry rebuffed, are interested in signing Josh Achampong, but Chelsea are expected to reject any moves. Enzo Maresca is adamant that he does not want to lose Achampong. This is via Guardian Sport, and then Jacob Steinberg here on his X account. City and Bournemouth showing interest in Achampong, but Chelsea have no intentions to sell. Bournemouth loan inquiry rejected, while Newcastle also monitoring the situation. Achampong viewed as important for Moresca. Now, this is one of many different areas of this whole centre-back discussion, argument. Should we go in the market for one? Moresca thinks we should, and we will. So we're going to get into that in a moment. But Josh Achampong here specifically. Josh is probably going to be listening to Enzo Maresca's comments right now and thinking, well, if he's still sure that I can't do it, then why am I going to be here? Because I think when it comes to minutes this season for Achampong, we've got to look at Reece James's fitness and think, well, Reece is the captain. Reece is the right back. He's going to play. Malo Gusto, the glow up from him at the Club World Cup and even in pre-season, suggests that we might have Malo Gusto back as that overlapping right back this season. So there's not looking like there's going to be too many chances in that position for Achampong. Realistically, Levi Colwill is now out for the season. Enzo Maresca sees Levi as the most important defender in the team in that central centre-back role. Now, there's a lot of videos online talking about the 3-1-3-3 setup that Moresca likes to use in possession for Chelsea. And I'll talk about that a lot more in the matchday preview today. But let's move into the comments here from Enzo Maresca regarding a new centre-back, because this is all where it ties into Achampong and what we could unfortunately see in this window. So this is Fabrizio saying this, but this was from the embargoed section of Enzo Maresca's press conference. You go on the Chelsea app or the YouTube channel and you watch the presser, and then there's other questions that there's an embargo for later on that day. Fofana played 45 mins in middle of three. One of the worst halves from us. Badiashile Conference League final, first half, losing 1-0. We changed him with Levi and won 4-1. It's not the same. The one in the middle is so important. We've got the triple so here for hyperbolic effect, but it's Moresca digging in here and basically proving to us. A lot of people might have questioned, is he just going to be a yes man? Is Moresca just going to be going along with whatever the club are giving him and not really standing up for what he wants? Well, the answer to that question is fundamentally incorrect. No. Enzo Maresca here is coming out and basically saying that the centre-backs we have already at the club, not only can you not trust Wesley Fofana, which is the truth, unfortunately, because of that injury record, but Benoit Badiashile is an evident downgrade from Levi Colwill. So Enzo Maresca here, he's putting it out for all to see. It's not like he's just trying to keep everything hush-hush because he doesn't want any managers to find out about his tactics, all right? We know, with this Chelsea team right now, having seen how important Levi Colwill was at the end of the season, this new build-up, when we get the ball back and we're trying to work our way up the pitch, it's so important that the central centre-back is not only competent receiving the ball, but is happy to just sit there and wait with it at his feet and then distribute between the lines, through the lines, and everything else. And I agree with him. I don't see Benoit Badiashile being at the same level as Levi Colwill. And if it gets to a point this season, right, where we're talking about signing Garnacho, signing Xavi Simmons, but I think the real concern in the Chelsea squad is in defensive areas. And now that we've had our best centre-back pick up an ACL injury to put us out for the season, Enzo Maresca is going out on a limb here and almost demanding that the club sign him a new centre-back, because the players that we've got available, or not even available sometimes, both Fofana and Badiashile, I don't believe are fully fit yet. Fofana might be. We might even see him play against Palace from what we understand. But these guys, I don't think Moresca trusts them right now. And I think he's right in his assumptions and estimations here. So what does it mean for Josh Achampong, for example? Well, Josh played. You could kind of see him lining up the majority of the first half against Bayer Leverkusen in a central centre-back position. So maybe we see him given a chance there whilst Chelsea figure out if we're actually going to go in the market for a player. There's also a lot of people that suggested Renato Vega. The answer is already internally at the club. This is the latest on him. Exclusive. Villarreal have sent formal bid to Chelsea for Renato Vega. It falls short of CFC expectations. Formal contract proposal to Vega also sent as dream target for centre-back position. The Portuguese defender is keen on the move, but difficult to agree club to club. This is kind of the issue that we've got right now at Chelsea. There is interest in our players, but the prices that we are quoting are just not what the clubs are willing to pay. Renato Vega was so close to a £35 million move to Atletico Madrid. That would have been fantastic. That would have been great profit on the books for Chelsea and a really good deal for Renato Vega. And then they ended up choosing Hansko from Feyenoord. Now, Renato Vega has just been chilling there in the bomb squad. Chelsea don't want to reintegrate him. Maresca's not interested in him. We know that there was that whole debacle back in January where he's like, I need to be playing centre-back. And then he went to Juventus and it wasn't exactly the most flourishing loan move to suggest that, yeah, this guy is certainly going to be an option. So, again, I don't begrudge Maresca here just being like, nah, I'm not going to do this. And I think as much as from a Chelsea perspective, right, we can't praise and keep going on about how good the squad building is and how much depth we've got in the team. But then soon as one of those top players gets injured, Maresca's like, nah, bring me more. But I think realistically here, this is the right option. This is the right thing potentially to do if he doesn't see the current players as being able to fulfill that role. But the key sticking point for me in this is that I think Josh Achampong could do that role. And I think he just needs to be backed. And the worst thing out of all of this, I'm not too fussed if Renato Vega gets sold, because it's always looked that way pretty much since the moment he joined the club, apparently. But if Josh Achampong gets sold, Chelsea are losing such a quality player here. Real Madrid wanted this guy. Bayern Munich wanted this guy. And if we sold him to a Premier League club, what are we doing? No, this guy's got to stay at Chelsea. Bring Moresca a centre-back. If that's what he wants, the manager has won us 2 trophies, got us back in the Champions League. And if he thinks and he's adamant that he needs it, I think the club should absolutely facilitate it. So, let's go now into the latest on Carney Chukwuemeka. Moresca on Chukwuemeka. He is training with the ones that are waiting for a solution. He's probably going to have a chance to leave. Now, I'm not even going to throw the screenshot on the screen. Borussia Dortmund yesterday are coming in with a £15 million option or obligation to buy Chukwuemeka. What is it, right? With Borussia Dortmund, they get massive money for their players, even from us. We spent 50 million on Gittins. Mate, you try to tell me you're broke. Go get yourself a pick and mix. Remind yourself that you got the dollar. And then put in a serious bid, please. Carney Chukwuemeka, right? We know that he's going to be sold. Chelsea have wanted around 30 million for him. 15! Jog on, Borussia Dortmund. Chukwuemeka still set to leave. Now, let's go into the latest regarding the Enkuru and Xavi Simmons saga, deal, story. Christopher Enkuru keen on Bayern move, as initial talks started in the background when Al Nassr asked for Coman. Enkuru open to joining Bayern, while Chelsea insist on permanent deal to approve his exit. Talks underway. Now, the talks for Kingsley Kman are now over. Kingsley Kman is in Saudi. He is an Al Nassr player. So Bayern Munich are looking at Enkuru as a potential option here as a replacement. Florian Plettenberg, who's reporting out of Germany, says this: Bayern and Chelsea remain in talks over a potential deal for Enkuru. There is still work to be done, and it remains uncertain whether a deal will go through. Doesn't sound good. However, personal terms are not an issue. Good. Enkuru is keen to join Bayern. The key factor is an agreement between the clubs and finding the right structure for the deal. It is understood that Chelsea are currently expecting €40 million plus add-ons. It's a lot of money for a player that's not really played that much football. And the thing with Enkuru here is he wants to go to a Champions League club. So earlier this week, when we were kind of toying around and playing with the idea of him going back to Leipzig, make weight, lower the price for Xavi Simmons, everyone's a winner, everyone's happy. Not Enkuru. Enkuru wants Champions League football, and I think rightly so. I think he's a Champions League level player, just not at Chelsea. So €40 million plus add-ons is a lot of money. I think Bayern Munich got €30 million for the Kingsley Kman deal. And at this point in time, it's about, I don't know necessarily if it's fully all on. It's got to be like Chelsea have got to recoup the money close to what we're going to pay for Xavi Simmons in order for this to happen, because €40 million plus add-ons for Enkuru is not going to be easy to get, I don't think, unless it's from a Premier League club that really see him as just like glove to hand kind of player. So the latest on Xavi Simmons from Florian Plettenberg is this: Bayern have made concrete inquiries for Simmons in recent days, but a deal is very unlikely to happen for several reasons. Most importantly, Xavi currently remains fully focused on a move to Chelsea. A verbal agreement with CFC is already in place, 100% done. Club-to-club agreements still missing. Potential departure of Enkuru, talks with FC Bayern could be crucial for Chelsea's next steps regarding Xavi. So this really is going to be about Chelsea's willingness to negotiate with Bayern Munich. Bayern apparently were interested in a loan for Christopher Enkuru, but because Bayern are also interested in Xavi Simmons, I don't think Bayern Munich are going to be in a rush here to go on a wild, aggressive pursuit for Christopher Enkuru. So Chelsea are adamant it's a permanent sale only. Bayern Munich are saying, well, no, I don't know about that. €40 million is quite a lot of money and add-ons. So Chelsea, we might have to just negotiate this wiggle room here if we really want to get Simmons through the door. And look, it's been a month, basically. It's been 70%, 71%, 69.69%. Mate, this is the guy. Xavi Simmons completes the Chelsea attack. We don't even need to talk about the next bit, or do we? Because Moresca's been at it again. Moresca on the left side, we have Jamie Gittins and Tyreek George. So probably also there, we need something. That player will be Alejandro Garnacho. So the Garnacho to Chelsea story, it's basically the biggest done deal that isn't a done deal on the market right now. It's so clear that Alejandro Garnacho is going to become a Chelsea player. And the fact that this is also dragging on, it's also difficult for Moresca because everybody can see what the situation at Chelsea is. It's reported on 50 million times a day. Chelsea need to sell Enkuru and Jackson to make way for Garnacho and Simmons. Now, the one thing I will say is that we are constantly hearing that it is Nkunku's exit that is the make weight for Xavi Simmons. So is it the Jackson exit that is then the make weight for the Garnacho deal? If so, it's interesting here because Enzo Maresca on Jackson's exit, he is training with us, but he is not going to be involved. You know the situation already. The window transfer is open. He can leave and we'll see. So Nicholas Jackson is back in training, but he's also being shunned out of the Chelsea team, which this could end up biting us in the arse, you know. If we're forcing Nicholas Jackson out of the club, but there seemingly isn't a buyer right now, Chelsea are obviously going to be in a position where we were hoping that sticking that 80 to 100 million price tag on him, whilst there was still lots of clubs in desperate need for strikers, we were kind of just dangling that carrot, hoping that we were going to get a buyer at that price. And we didn't, and we won't. So now I see this potentially going like this, and I don't like that I'm saying this, but my prediction is potentially that we do lose Xavi Simmons because we go for another centre-back and we can't offload Jackson till the end of the window, potentially. Or maybe not even at all. And then you've got an unhappy player that was basically shunned out the door, that it wasn't sure he was ever going to get a chance again. We know that Moresca likes Jackson. It's clearly the club are trying to sell him to make way for Simmons and Garnacho, which obviously I like that if we get Xavi Simmons through the door as a priority. I would much rather, if all day long, if it's Simmons or Garnacho, I'm signing Xavi Simmons every day of the week. Even though Moresca says he wants more cover on that left side, Joao Pedro can play there. Xavi Simmons can play there. And we're not just talking about fitting in, okay? So many options still. But the latest is Simmons and Garnacho in, Jackson, Enkuru out. Let's see how things develop. Let me know all of your thoughts on today's Chelsea transfer news in the comments down below. Subscribe to GBFC if you are new. Check the links if you want anything from the Megastore. GBFC10, let me whack it up on the screen, is your discount code. Check the QR code out on the screen too. Come on, you Blues.